Imagine waking in the middle of the night, your mind restless, shadows moving across your room, and a voice whispering secrets of kingdoms unseen, powers beyond comprehension, and watchers who guard the visions of destiny themselves. Tonight we are stepping into the realm of Daniel's night visions, where celestial beings observe, record, and influence the course of history in ways you have never imagined. Stay with me as we uncover the watchers who watch over men and kings, angels whose eyes pierce through the veil of time and fate. Welcome to Divine War Stories, your gateway to the unseen battles in heaven and earth, stories of angels, visions, and divine interventions that shape the course of human history. Here we explore the hidden realm where faith, fear, and prophecy collide. If you love the mysterious and the divine, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our journey through celestial wars and sacred secrets. In the quiet of the night, Daniel's mind wrestled with visions too vast for mortal understanding. His eyes saw symbols, beasts, and shining figures that moved with purpose. Angels known as the Watchers hovered at the edge of reality, silent yet omnipresent, observing every detail, recording every act, their gaze penetrating both the heavens and the earth. As Daniel trembled, the Watchers communicated not with words but with presence, a feeling that the weight of eternity rested upon him. They were guardians of divine secrets, sent to ensure that no hidden act went unnoticed. Every choice of kings, every rebellion of men, was catalogued in celestial records, and Daniel, chosen to witness, became the bridge between human frailty and divine order. The Watcher's eyes followed him, guiding, warning, protecting, a silent counsel that shaped his understanding of what was to come. He felt awe, fear, and the undeniable certainty that nothing in his world was outside their view. Daniel's visions were fragmented, flashes of kingdoms rising and falling, beasts of unimaginable size and strength. The Watchers observed silently, their presence felt as a pressure in the chest, a knowing that something beyond comprehension was at work. They were not angels of war or of vengeance in this moment but keepers of divine oversight. Their eyes moved with precision, noting the moral choices of kings, the whispers of prophets, and the hidden schemes of men. Daniel sensed that his nights would never again belong solely to sleep, that each dream, each vision, carried weight and responsibility. The Watcher's silent instruction guided him, teaching patience, discernment, and the courage to speak truths that might be dangerous to mortal ears. In their gaze, Daniel understood that human history and divine will were intertwined, and the unseen hand of the Watchers influenced outcomes in ways invisible but inevitable. The Watchers appeared in forms that were both terrifying and awe-inspiring, neither wholly human nor entirely angelic. They shimmered with light that pierced the darkness, yet shadows clung to them as if reality itself could not fully contain them. Their eyes burned with knowledge that Daniel could barely comprehend. In their silent vigil, they passed judgment not with anger but with precision, observing the sins and virtues of men alike. They catalogued rebellion and loyalty, ambition and mercy. Every heartbeat resonated within the cosmic ledger they maintained. Daniel felt a connection between his own spirit and theirs, a tether linking mortal perception to eternal truth, and though he feared their presence, he was compelled to record and understand, to share the messages imparted through symbols and dreams. The Watchers remained above, yet intimately aware of the smallest choice, the quietest prayer, and the hidden intentions of all who lived beneath their gaze, an eternal court of silent witnesses shaping destiny in the shadows. Every night, Daniel's dreams grew more vivid, the Watchers' influence undeniable, their silent counsel shaping the visions that flowed through him. Beasts representing kingdoms roared across his mind's eye, some noble, some corrupted, and through it all, the Watchers remained impartial, recording and guiding, teaching him the rhythm of divine time, the unfolding of prophecy that spanned centuries. Daniel began to understand that these celestial beings did not intervene with force but with oversight, shaping the way kings thought, guiding armies subtly, ensuring that the path of history followed the plan written before the foundation of the world. The Watcher's presence was felt as much as seen, a pressure, a whisper, a certainty that the unseen mattered as much as the visible, and Daniel's role as witness became both a blessing and a burden. He had been chosen to see, to comprehend, to endure the weight of knowledge that few mortals could bear. The Watcher's silent communication came through symbols and signs, the shifting stars, the rise and fall of kingdoms. Daniel's own emotions, dreams, and fears became conduits for divine messages. He could not always understand the full meaning, but the Watcher's presence reassured him, teaching patience and faith. The cosmic order was vast, layered with countless threads connecting humanity and the divine. The Watchers observed each thread with precision, ensuring that none unraveled without consequence. Their eyes moved across the earth and heavens alike, cataloguing alliances, betrayals, prayers, and blasphemies. Daniel began to see himself as part of a larger tapestry, a single observer in a universe watched by beings whose understanding transcended time and space, and though fear often gripped him, a quiet strength emerged, a sense that the Watcher's presence was both guardian and guide, protecting the flow of destiny while revealing the profound responsibility of witnessing the divine will unfold. In one vision, Daniel saw a great river of light, and upon its banks, the Watchers stood, their eyes unblinking, observing events centuries before they occurred. Empires rose like shadows and fell like leaves in the wind, yet each act was recorded, each choice weighed. The Watchers catalogued the moral fiber of kings and the hidden deeds of men. Daniel understood that their vigilance was eternal, a constant reminder that nothing escaped the gaze of heaven. Their silent whispers echoed in his mind, guiding him to discern truth from deception, morality from ambition, and in that understanding, he found both terror and hope, for the Watchers reminded him that divine justice was patient, omniscient, and unwavering. No act of virtue or vice ever lost, every prayer registered, every betrayal remembered, and Daniel, fragile in mortal form, became a vessel through which these eternal truths were glimpsed, a human window into celestial oversight. The Watcher's presence in Daniel's visions brought clarity and confusion. He saw the rise of kingdoms, the fall of rulers, the emergence of leaders guided by divine inspiration or human ambition, and through it all, the Watcher's impartial eyes remained, recording, observing, preserving the balance of history. Daniel's heart pounded as he realized the magnitude of what he witnessed, the divine narrative stretching across millennia, a story of human choice interwoven with eternal purpose. Yet, the Watchers did not intervene directly. Their role was to observe, instruct subtly, and ensure the integrity of destiny. Their silent authority guided Daniel's understanding, teaching him that even in moments of despair, the unseen forces of justice, guidance, and foresight were ever present, shaping outcomes with precision. And in this realization, Daniel found the courage to embrace his visions, to accept the weight of knowledge, and to trust that even in darkness, the Watchers held the line between chaos and order. Daniel's nights became sacred, a time where the veil between heaven and earth thinned, the Watcher's eyes following him with unwavering attention, their presence a constant reminder that nothing was unseen. He recorded symbols, animals, and visions with painstaking detail, understanding that each element was a message, a lesson, a key to interpreting divine will. The Watcher's silent counsel shaped his thoughts, guiding his words, influencing his actions subtly, yet profoundly. Their vigilance ensured that Daniel's interpretations aligned with higher truths, teaching him discernment, patience, and humility, and though the weight of understanding often pressed upon his spirit, he discovered a profound connection to the divine, a sense of purpose that transcended fear. The Watchers were not distant observers but companions in the journey of revelation, their eternal vigilance a source of awe, inspiration, and reverent fear. Daniel's writings became a bridge between mortal perception and celestial truth, a testament to the enduring presence of Watchers over human destiny. In the midst of turmoil, wars, and political intrigue, Daniel understood that the Watchers were not removed from human affairs but intimately connected to the outcomes of every action. Their eyes traced the path of kings and prophets alike, weighing decisions and recording consequences. The visions revealed the hidden currents of divine will, the unseen structures shaping mortal life, and Daniel, chosen as witness, felt the immense responsibility of translating these symbols for those who could not see, his heart heavy with knowledge yet inspired by the Watcher's precision, patience, and unwavering attention. He realized that every act of courage, faith, or treachery contributed to a larger narrative, a cosmic story of justice, redemption, and divine order, and through this understanding, Daniel embraced his role, accepting that human eyes might falter, but the Watchers never wavered, guarding, guiding, and preserving the integrity of history with eternal diligence. As dawn approached and Daniel awoke, the visions faded yet the Watcher's presence lingered, a reminder that the night had been a portal to understanding. He carried the weight of their silent counsel into the waking world, each decision, conversation, and reflection influenced by their observation. The Watchers' role as impartial overseers ensured that destiny unfolded as it should, teaching Daniel patience, discernment, and humility. He felt both fear and awe, realizing that human history was entwined with divine oversight, that every moral choice and action mattered, and in this profound awareness, he found purpose, clarity, and a quiet strength, knowing that though invisible, the Watchers were ever present, guiding, observing, and preserving the balance of heaven and earth. And as he recorded his visions, he invited others to witness the silent guardianship that shaped the fate of nations and souls alike. A gentle call to recognize the unseen forces that guide life itself. If you are enjoying this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to help this channel reach more people. Now let's continue. Daniel's visions grew even more vivid as the Watcher's presence intensified, symbols shifting into living forms, beasts that roared with the weight of kingdoms, and light that seemed to speak without sound. He felt the gravity of what he was witnessing, the Watcher's eyes upon him like a silent council, cataloguing every act, every intention, every prayer, teaching him that history was not random but orchestrated with precision. The rise and fall of men and empires followed patterns he could barely comprehend, yet the Watcher's vigilance provided guidance, a cosmic roadmap, a reminder that even in chaos, divine order prevailed. Daniel's heart beat with awe and fear, his mind strained to interpret what was seen, and though exhaustion threatened, he persisted, knowing that the Watcher's silent mentorship was shaping him into a witness who could reveal the unseen forces shaping life on Earth and beyond. The Watchers, radiant and immense, hovered at the edge of Daniel's perception, their forms impossible to fully define, light interwoven with shadow, eyes reflecting centuries of knowledge. They observed not only kingdoms but the smallest acts of humanity, every moral choice, every whispered prayer, every secret betrayal recorded in their eternal memory. Daniel sensed that his role as witness was part of a much larger plan, a bridge between mortal fragility and celestial foresight, and through their silent teaching, he began to understand the rhythm of destiny, that every act carried weight, that nothing escaped divine observation. The Watchers shaped the environment subtly, influencing the outcomes of wars, guiding the hearts of kings, steering prophets, and inspiring courage in the faint-hearted. Their presence was both terrifying and comforting, a reminder that human life, though fleeting, was never outside the gaze of eternity. Daniel's nights were no longer his own. They belonged to visions, symbols, and messages from realms unseen, the Watcher's silent eyes teaching him patience, discernment, and humility. As beasts representing kingdoms marched across his mind, he realized that their order and chaos were part of a divine pattern. Every moment of human history under their watch was catalogued with meticulous care. The Watchers ensured that nothing in the mortal realm disrupted the unfolding of prophecy. Daniel felt the weight of responsibility, understanding that the knowledge he received was sacred and dangerous, meant for those chosen to witness. He trembled at the enormity of it, yet a quiet strength grew within, for he realized that even in his fear, he was guided by beings whose vigilance transcended time, whose silent counsel was the thread connecting heaven and earth, teaching that divine purpose permeates all of existence. And that awareness of this truth brings both awe and clarity. In one vision, Daniel saw empires rise like shadows and fall like leaves in the wind, yet the Watcher's gaze never wavered, cataloguing every act of ambition, courage, and betrayal. Their impartial observation ensured that divine justice would follow, unseen yet unerring. Daniel felt the pull of eternity, the awareness that his own life was intertwined with the cosmic order, the Watcher's presence both intimidating and comforting, teaching him that while mortals see only fragments, the eternal sees all. Every choice, every secret, every whispered intention mattered in the grand tapestry of history, and through understanding this, Daniel began to embrace his role, no longer merely witnessing but learning the rhythm of divine oversight, the patterns of fate, and the silent power of beings whose eyes never blink and whose judgment is unerring, a force guiding, shaping, and preserving the flow of time itself. The Watchers communicated in subtle ways, not through speech but through symbols, visions, and emotions. Daniel felt their guidance in the flutter of his heart, the sudden clarity of thought, the trembling at moments of revelation, each night revealing layers of divine order and unseen influence, kingdoms and rulers, prophets and rebels, all part of a carefully observed plan. Daniel's understanding deepened, realizing that the Watchers were guardians of not only vision but wisdom, teaching him how to interpret signs, red omens, and understand the consequences of human actions, their silent counsel shaping him into a vessel of insight, a recorder of what the mortal eye cannot see, and as he documented these visions, he became a bridge between the eternal and the temporal, between divine order and human understanding, carrying messages that could illuminate lives if he remained faithful to his calling. Daniel began to perceive the layers of reality through the Watcher's vigilance, his visions showing kingdoms as living entities, choices as rivers flowing toward destiny, and human deeds as echoes reverberating through eternity. The Watchers observed all with unwavering focus, cataloguing virtue, sin, courage, and treachery alike, their presence a reminder that divine justice, patience, and order govern every aspect of existence. Daniel understood that even the smallest act could ripple through history, and through their silent guidance, he learned discernment, humility, and faith, witnessing the balance of power between heaven and earth, the unfolding of prophecy with precision, and the beauty and terror of a universe watched by beings whose purpose is to maintain order and ensure that destiny remains aligned with eternal truth, a profound lesson in the weight of responsibility and the unseen hand that shapes the world. Visions came in waves, overwhelming yet enlightening. Daniel saw the Watchers standing at the edges of history, recording events, observing kings, armies, and prophets, their presence silent but commanding, teaching that nothing escapes divine notice, every betrayal, every act of kindness, every secret prayer, catalogued and preserved. Daniel felt both terror and awe, the realization that human life is observed and influenced in ways unseen. Yet he also felt purpose, knowing he was chosen to witness and interpret these visions, to share the knowledge with those ready to understand, the Watcher's guidance subtle but unwavering, shaping him into a vessel capable of conveying eternal truths, reminding him that even in fear, awareness of their vigilance brings clarity, insight, and strength, connecting mortal life with the grand design of eternity. In the heart of the night, Daniel perceived the Watcher's endless patience, observing without interference, teaching that influence need not be forceful to shape destiny. Their eyes recorded every detail, every act, and every intention, ensuring the integrity of history and prophecy. Daniel's role as witness became sacred, a bridge linking human perception to celestial wisdom. He learned that even in moments of doubt or fear, the unseen forces guided outcomes, that the cosmos was held in balance by eternal vigilance, and that awareness of this truth could transform understanding and behavior. The Watcher's silent presence inspiring awe, reverence, and courage, reminding Daniel and all who witness their story that the unseen has power, guidance, and purpose, and that even the smallest act is observed and recorded in the eternal ledger of destiny. Daniel's visions revealed that the Watchers were both guardians and witnesses, impartial yet deeply aware of human frailty, their eyes reflecting centuries of wisdom, recording the rise and fall of nations, the virtues and sins of men, and the hidden truths behind every action. Through these encounters, Daniel learned patience, discernment, and the courage to speak truths that others might fear, his nights filled with awe and terror. Yet strengthened by the Watcher's silent guidance, he became a vessel of knowledge, understanding that history, morality, and prophecy were intertwined, that human choices matter, and that divine oversight ensures that justice and truth endure, a lesson in responsibility, humility, and the enduring presence of beings whose vigilance shapes the very course of existence without words, only observation, influence, and eternal care. As dawn broke and Daniel awoke, the visions faded but the lessons remained, the Watcher's silent presence still echoing in his heart, teaching that even unseen, they guide, protect, and influence, shaping the course of destiny with precision. He recorded every detail, understanding the sacred responsibility of witnessing divine truth, and as you reflect on these stories, remember that unseen forces are always at work, guiding, observing, and preserving the balance of life. If this glimpse into the Watchers of Daniel's night visions stirred or curiosity, consider subscribing to Divine War Stories, where we continue to explore the celestial battles, visions, and secret guardians of eternity, and join us in uncovering the mysteries that exist just beyond mortal sight, inspiring wonder, reflection, and the courage to see beyond the visible world.